Good morning and welcome, friends. Let's start our class today with a prayer together. Heavenly Father, Divine Mother, friend, beloved God, Guru Preceptors, Jesus Christ, Babaji Krishna, Layadi Mahashaya, Swami Shri Yukteswarji, beloved Master, Paramhansa Yogananda Ji, saints of all religions, we bow at thy feet. O great ones, fill us with thy vibrations of love and joy as we seek to attune ourselves ever more perfectly to thee. Om Shanti, Shanti. Let's have a song now, and then a video clip from Swamiji on this topic of God as the doer.
From the depths of slumber as I ascend the spiral stairways of wakefulness, I will whisper, whisper, God, God, God. Thou art the food, and when I break my fast of nightly separation from thee, I will taste thee and mentally say, God, God, God. No matter where I go, the spotlight of my mind will ever keep turning on thee, and in the battle din of activity, my silent war cry will be, God, God, God. When boisterous storms of trial shriek, and when worries howl at me, I will drown their noises loudly chanting, God, God, God. When my mind weaves dreams with threads of memories, on that magic cloth will I emboss, God, God, God. Every night in time of deepest sleep, when my peace dreams and calls, joy, joy, my joy comes singing evermore, God, God, God. In waking, eating, working, dreaming, sleeping, serving, meditating, chanting, divinely loving, my soul will constantly hum, unheard by any, God, God, God. But one particular way that I think is very important is to feel that God is the doer. No matter what you're doing, feel that God is doing it through you. I have found that in this, that things come much better. People may say, but still I like to have some credit in it too. The more you have of that thought, the less you can accomplish. I know one time after a lecture, a sermon that I'd given in the church, somebody complimented me on it, and I said, well, God is the doer. She's, oh, really? As if to say, well, I knew it was good. I didn't know it was that good. That was not what I meant. I meant that he is able to use this form as well as this form will allow him to. But his is the power with which we breathe. His is the power with which we think. Yogananda said in Autobiography of a Yogi that thoughts are universally rooted, not individually rooted. A man cannot create a thought, he can only reflect it. Our brains are not originally creative things, they're transmitting stations. And you can test that. If you fall into a mood, your energy goes downward. Yogananda used to say, I suffer when I see you have moods, because I see that then Satan gets a hold of you. And the way out of them is to raise your consciousness. So within 5 minutes, you can change your consciousness by putting your mind at the point between the eyebrows. As we change our level of consciousness, so a whole new kind of thoughts come to us. So instead of trying to figure things out, you'll find that if you raise your consciousness, ask for an answer to a question, let's say, it will be there even just in a second. I found in writing music, I never write the music. Really, I've done many things in my life. I've written 140 books. I've written about over 400 pieces of music. I've done a lot of things. Some people are always saying, well, how great this is that you've done. I've not done anything. The reason I've been able to do it is that I haven't done it. I've allowed it to happen through me. When a melody, when I try to write a song, I don't think, now how do I want this melody to go? I just say, well, I want the melody to say this is, what is the melody? And it's there. I don't have to work for it. So I really can't claim credit for anything that I've done in my life. And the extent to which I did claim credit, it would be a failure.
Good morning again, friends, and welcome. I'd like to start with a few quotes on about different scientists or mathematicians or musicians on God in their work. From Ramanujan, mathematics was not just a knowledge domain. He famously said that for him, an equation has no meaning unless it reveals the mind of God. Albert Einstein, everyone who is seriously committed to the cultivation of science becomes convinced that in all the laws of the universe is manifest a spirit vastly superior to man, and to which we, with our powers, must feel humble. Isaac Newton, what we know is a drop. What we do not know is a vast ocean. The admirable arrangement and harmony of the universe could only have come from the plan of an omniscient and omnipotent being. And Kepler, God is great. God, in his great power and infinite wisdom, is my Lord and my Creator. And in music, Tagore said, music is the purest form of art. Therefore, great poets, true poets, they who are seers, seek to express the universe in terms of music. Bach, I play notes as they are written, but it is God who makes the music. Finally, Handel, I have seen the face of God. Brahms, I feel vibrations that fill my whole being. The ideas flow in upon me directly from God. And when he played music, he began to levitate. This is really an important topic, I think, because so many people, and I hear it, say, oh, I've done it, or I've done this job, or I'm the one who's teaching, or they're my students, or whatever. And as Swamiji said, this is a complete block to the flow of inspiration, of God's power, of ideas, of magnetism, of thoughts. Thoughts are universally rooted. Just before this class, another thought came to me to express in the class. And I thought, now, where did that come from? It didn't come from me. It came from Divine Mother to be expressed. And so this topic of seeing God coming through us, we couldn't breathe, we couldn't eat, we couldn't sleep, we couldn't walk, we couldn't talk, we couldn't express things, we couldn't have any creativity, we could do nothing without the power of God. And so one of the main teachings of Master was seeing God as the doer in everything that we do. And Master expressed, he said himself, I killed Yogananda long ago. No one dwells in this temple now but God. And I saw that near the end of Swamiji's life. And he just expressed the divine. It's no longer just him. And you may remember the story of Master when he was coming over on the ship from going from India to the US. And he didn't speak very much English, but he was asked by someone on the ship to give a talk. And he thought, well, my gosh, I don't really feel to do that or don't really know the language that well. Maybe he thought that. But he said yes. That's the thing. And he called on God through his guru. And he stood there for some minutes in front of the audience. It wasn't immediate. It was some days later. And he kept in his mind saying to his guru, calling him, you must help me, you must help me, you must help me. He was calling on God. And he heard inside of his mind, you can do it, you can speak. And he spoke. He gave a beautiful lecture for, I think it was 45 minutes. And they said it was perfect English. Where did that come from? It came from God. And in everything that we do, we have to remember, as Swamiji told us, that it's Master and Babaji are behind everything that we are doing on our path. It's their power that's coming through us in whatever, the yoga class or a talk or the kirtan or a satsang or teaching, education for life, and everything. We have to understand and be in attunement with that divine power that's always flowing, that's flowing through open, receptive, attuned channels. And an interesting thing I read was in this wonderful book, Conversations with Yogananda, last night, Swamiji was saying that Master, well, first of all, when Swamiji couldn't do the yoga postures very well, he wasn't that limber. And but he said every time Master asked him to demonstrate them, he could do all the postures. He got to be known as the expert in the postures. Why? Because God was doing it through him. And he said, I read last night that Norman, who was a big, strong disciple, Master would have him demonstrating the poses, and he couldn't do them very well. But Swamiji said that every time, Norman told him, every time he would have him do the poses, when Master would point at him, he was able to be limber enough to do the poses. What was he doing? Pointing. He was sending him that power of God. And as he said about Swamiji, Master said, Swamiji thought he had been changing himself. Oh, look at me, I've changed, because Master said, you must change this particular thing. And Swamiji felt proud that he was able to change himself. And he heard from some of the monks that Master had talked with them saying, look how I changed Walter. Look how I changed him. And so even we think, oh, now I'm so good at meditation, or I'm the perfect yoga teacher, or I fasted and now I'm slim, or whatever it is. And really, we have to give the credit to God. Now, surely we have to do our part. It's like cooperation with grace. We put our hand in God's hand. We become open, receptive, interested, if nothing else, willing instruments and channels for the divine to flow in every area of our lives. It's not just, oh, now I meditate, I'm a devotee, and that's it. That flow should be happening all the time, and creativity and ideas. And Swamiji gave a very fun example of when he was giving a lecture once, and way back before Ananda. This was with his other master's organization, and he said, Master always told them, let God speak through you. And he said, okay. He started his talk, and he said, right in the middle of the talk, he said, well, I'm just going to stop now and let God talk. So he stopped and he waited and he waited. He said in his mind, he was saying, come on, say something. I know you have something to say. Nothing was said. He realized he had to be open to that. And I see so many people say, oh, God will do it, or Guruji will do it, or Guruji didn't do it, or how come he didn't do it? And Master said to say, I will reason, I will act. But guide thou my reason, will, and activity to everything and every action, everything that I do. And it's my own but God-given power. And if we do it that way, and we cooperate with God, cooperate with grace, miracles happen. It's not enough to meditate. I see a lot of times that happens with people, and they shut themselves down to the creative flow, to ideas, to things that they might do. How might you do it differently? Who should you call? How can you do the class better? What else can you do? How can you serve God more? And people say, well, I don't really know. Well, you should know. Figure it out. Think about it. Motivate yourself. When we were with Swamiji, and you sit in a group, he would throw out ideas or say, what do you all think about it? And I don't know, or I don't have a thought. It wasn't a good answer. It was like, think about it, meditate on it, feel it, open yourself. There's a whole reservoir of energy that's flowing down to all those who are open. I feel so many ideas and inspiration, and try this, do this, get in touch with that person. I mean, it's continuous. It's like a faucet that's always on. It's turned on all the time. The question is, are we turned on all the time? And so when I got to Ananda, I understood this principle, that it wasn't just meditation, but it was being a channel for God's energy to flow, to be inspired, to be selfless, to serve with joy. And I was remembering the story of this woman who, she was a devotee, a disciple of Master, and he gave her something to do. He gave her some jobs, and she was so tensed up. So he came to her again. He said, listen, you're working too hard. And she says, okay, I won't work so hard. So she thought she didn't have to do so much. He gave her more work, and she was tensed up again. He said, well, you're still working too hard. And this is how most of us were, and maybe are, but hopefully not, before coming to Ananda. We learned how to serve with energy and fluidity and a wonderful flow of joy. I mean, the faces should be full of joy and light. And so then Master gave this woman more. No, he said, you're still working too hard. So finally she said, Master, why don't we change that word work from work to service? And he said, now you're getting it. Let God flow through you. Let God do it through you. Don't think I'm the one doing it. And I just learned that doing anything, I mean, we can't limit ourselves. Okay, I have joy when I'm teaching, but I don't have joy when I'm doing the dishes. I don't have joy when I'm cooking or whatever. But I learned that wonderful principle that in anything and everything, feel that it's God's energy in creating something, or playing a musical instrument, or singing, or chanting, or doing the dishes, or mopping the floor, or whatever the things are, being with your friends, or just feel that he's serving through me. He's looking through my eyes. He's speaking through my voice. He's vibrating through me. It's just what a wonderful principle that Master gave. And I just don't know how many practice that, but it's something to do. I was with another Nayaswami yesterday, Nita. He told me just a fantastic story about just energy flows and saying yes to life. He said he came to Ananda and then he went away for some couple of years to get a degree. He had already graduated, but he went back to get a degree in education. He said he got back, I think it was a Friday, and there was a big meeting on Saturday because it was the beginning of Ananda. He was one of the pioneers in the early years, and they really needed a school. So at the meeting, they asked him, could he start the school? And he said, well, okay, why not? And they said, well, the thing is, can you start on Monday, which was 2 days later? And he said, well, all right. And that's how Ananda School started. Education for Life started. There was the idea, there was a person there who just showed up in time. Now, how did that all happen? And then the energy flowed and the school began. And so these masters looking for instruments, people who are willing to be open and to help. And we might think, oh, that's too big of a job, or who am I to? Well, I love what Swamiji said once to someone. He said, inferiority and superiority complexes are both ego. Both of them are wrong. Just be natural, be open, be in attunement with God. Don't think, who am I? Who are you anyway? That's the thing. And I was remembering a wonderful story of a master's life and Swamiji's, where Swamiji was trying to create Ananda, and the expenses were huge, not just monetarily, but on every level. But at a particular time, there was a company trying to, we owed money to this particular company, and they were put a lien on the property and were wanting to, shut us down. And Swamiji just prayed and did everything he could to keep it open, thank God. And then he was at a program somewhere, and someone came up, I think he had spoken, and someone came up and said, I want to help your work. Can I help you in any way? And so Swamiji said, sure. And he thought maybe give, I don't know, $100 or something like that at that time, which actually was a lot. The man wrote a check for $3,000. Now, Swamiji had done everything he could to make it work. But then Divine Mother came in. We have to understand, you can't just help me. It's like, do everything you can. And then God will come. And also Master, he told his secretary that he was going to go on a nationwide tour throughout America. And when he was there, and his secretary said, I'm sorry, sir, but you don't have any money to do anything. Master said, I'm going, period. And the secretary said, well, fine, but I don't know how you're going to go. But Master knew Divine Mother was going to help him because he was helping himself. And so he was in San Francisco walking down the street. I mean, this is an incredible story of faith, doing what you can and having faith in God. And then, and knowing that God is doing it all behind that faith. And so Master was there and he passed someone on the street, and the person said, I want to help you. I want to help your work. Now he was Indian, long hair, maybe robes, I don't know. But, he obviously was a soul, a great soul, this man saw. And he wanted to help him. And Master said, you don't even know who I am. And the man said, yes, I do. From your eyes. Now look at that, how beautiful that is, from your eyes. And he wrote Master a check at that time, this must have been the 20s, maybe 30s, for $27,000. What an incredible story. That's phenomenal. That he knew he had done everything he possibly could, and Divine Mother was going to help him because she was doing it all anyway. And of course, he went on the nationwide tour. And so I think, for one, we have to get our energy up more. Sit up straight, energize more, do your practices, get magnetic, build your aura up. But then know God can serve and work through you and can work miracles. I've seen them over and over. And finally, how do we do that in the best way? So Master said, gaze up at the spiritual eye. After meditation or at a certain period when you feel like you really are in need of help. And Master, when he would write his book, Swamiji said he just would look up and they just start dictating. You know, the inspiration was just flowing. So gaze up at the spiritual eye. Put your thought, your need, whatever, out to Divine Mother there. Pray to God and gurus. Help me. Show me the way. What do you want to do? How can I serve you better? What can I do? How can I be a better instrument? I'm doing everything that I can. And feel in your heart their energy, their power, their answers, the solutions. And think solution or be solution oriented, not problem oriented. Oh, that happened on Dhyana. I don't know what to do. Well, find out what to do. Do it yourself. And as you do it, you'll find you get stronger and stronger and stronger. I know Swamiji said to us in Italy, we were there, and I asked him, I said, how on earth are we going to continue here? He was leaving on a plane to go back to America. He just left us there in 1984, 4 of us. And he said, Dhyana, you need to tune in and ask Master and Divine Mother what to do, and you will know what to do. He was challenging me. You have to tune in. So in order to draw in God's will and see God as the doer, have God by your side, walking with you, you have to tune in, read the books, hear the music, go to the center, come online, do the kirtans, all the things, and you'll find that the answers, the solutions, Divine Mother, God's power is behind you. I want to close with these beautiful words from this great book of Master's healing, scientific healing affirmations. Do this with me in your mind or out loud. Each morning, just repeat it mentally. I willingly and joyfully offer my entire self, my body, mind, any special ability or talent which I may possess to be used by the infinite creator in whatever way he may choose to express himself through me. And finally, from How to Awaken Your True Potential, Teachings of Master. Come out of your closed chamber of limitation. These are Master's words. Never suggest to your mind human limitations of sickness, old age, or death, but constantly remind yourself, I am the infinite, which has become the body. You are God's, if you only knew it. You must look within. Behind the wave of your consciousness is the sea of God's presence. Claim your divine birthright. Awake, and you shall behold the glory of God. Om Shanti Shanti. I'll ask Natindra to join me on the screen now for a couple of questions.
Thank you so much, Dhyanaji, for the inspiration. We have a few questions. The first one is, how should I convince myself that God is the doer when something unpleasant happens in life?
It's a lack of your own attunement. People blame God, they blame Master. Master didn't help me. Master wasn't there, Divine Mother. The problem is we weren't there. So anytime you feel that something went off, attune yourself more. And then sometimes, why not? You have karma as well, don't you? I mean, the guru said, I can help you so much. 25% is our efforts. You have to do your part. Master said 25%, I'll help you. 50%, my God, 75% is there. What more do you want? And so the thing is, we have to say, okay, I'll do my part. I have karma to burn off. I have things I have to learn. I need to be challenged. I was listening to a talk yesterday of Swamiji. He said, if you didn't have the challenges, how would you grow? Just sitting at the beach and go all the time. Are you growing? So, and this Master said, you may think this path is hard, but the worldly path is much harder. So I think be grateful of what we have rather than Master didn't help me, Divine Mother didn't help me.
Thank you, Dhyanaji. Two more questions. The first one is, how can I learn to discriminate my own ego will from God's will?
And that's tricky because everybody thinks they're right. all the time. You're just not right all the time. I think better to try to align yourself after meditation. Think of your projects or the answers, the solutions after your mind is clear, after you've meditated. Also, you might ask others who you feel can help you, who've been on the path longer than you, at least for a while until you feel, I mean, not for a while. I mean, I still ask my peers and people who've been here longer, is this right? Is this the right thing to do? So don't think you can just figure it out yourself. I've seen lots of people slide down that mountain who thought they figured it out for themselves. So do your best, but consult others. And shall I add this other word? Listen. Listen to them. People ask, but do they listen? And the next word is act. You might hear it, but what are you doing about it? So all these parts are important. It's a slippery, slidey slope. Let's face it, it's not easy. And people think, oh, I'm fine. I've been on the path for 2 years. Well, good luck is what I have to say about it, really. Any more questions, Atindra?
One last one, Dhyanaji. I can't get out of the thought of self-importance being recognized in some way, let's say as a teacher or acharya. So how do I get out of that thought? Because I do know that it is hindering my own spirituality.
Honestly, that's a big delusion. I mean, you should be willing to scrub the floors and paint the wall. I mean, when we went to Ananda, we did everything and anything, all things, along with Swamiji doing them. We came to India, we did the same. We didn't say, oh, I'm a teacher. I don't set up the chairs. I don't set up the flowers and the altar. I don't sell the books. We did everything. I mean, what needs to happen is your attitudes need to change. Don't think of who you are. Think of how you can serve the guru. Forget about titles. People get caught in that. Oh, I'm the teacher. They're my students. Swamiji said, I don't teach anybody anything. And he surely, of all the people I know, could have said he was a teacher. He said, I share. Isn't that so much more beautiful? And I hear people saying, you know, I'm in charge of 300 people and I'm the boss. And it's just an ego trap. Get out of it sooner rather than later. And just the thing to do is everything they do, Master, it's yours. Every talk Swamiji gave that I was at, hundreds of talks, he always said, God is the doer. I felt Master's presence. Master did it through me. Every book he wrote, Master wrote it. Every song, it came from my guru. It came from God. So who are we to say, no, it came from me? I want a title. I want a name. It just is, it's a big, big, big trap. And the more you serve, the more you jump in and just do everything, anything, whatever it is, call people on the phone and help them, set up the chairs, go to the center, bring the flowers, bring the food. Just don't think of yourself. Anytime you're thinking of yourself, I remember at the Sangha office in America, anytime I'd get in a strange mood, I just picked up the phone, start calling people. Hi, how are you? You know, all the members, how's your family? How's your health? How's your meditation? I would just call till I broke it, You have to break it, but you can't sit there and say, I don't have an ego. I don't want a name. You have to just keep serving the guru and let him break it. And then you will be free. Thank you, Natendra. God bless you all.